to the show. Today we have Deb Cogill. Did I pronounce your name right?
Cogill.
Got it. And Deb has served as president of Wellesley Friendly Aid Association for 7 years and has been involved with the organization for a decade. She built a 40-year career in federal service as a human resource employee and labor relations officer and has been a proud resident of Wellesley for over 35 years. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Oh, did I submit that? I just haven't been. Where did she get that information?
Oh, no, you did give that to me.
Yes, I'm honored. Actually, Wellesley Friendly Aid is honored
Yes.
to speak with you about everything that is near and dear to us. We just, we've drunk the Kool-Aid.
Lovely.
That's how I refer to
So
it. We
so happy to hear that. We are so happy to have you chat with us about all the good work that this organization does. And speaking of the good work, so tell us a little bit about Wellesley Friendly Aid and its history in Wellesley. I hear it has a very old history in Wellesley.
Yes, it does. It started in 1899. It wasn't really established. It was under the Wellesley Hills Women's Club. There was a fire in town. There used to be a poor farm where the current country club sits. And several of the women within the club came up with a way to help those that had nothing. And it was gathering clothes and furniture and finding housing. That's how it started in 1899. And then in 1909, they separated and became a standalone. Well, the Hills Club still participated because it was their idea, but we were approved by the Commonwealth to be a nonprofit organization. So in 1909, officially, it became Friendly Aid. And then we made it fancy and said Wellesley Friendly Aid.
Right.
And then in 1909, 1950, we moved into our current house on Washington Street. And we've been there ever since. So and it's expanded to the point where they had a nurse early on. They had a public health nurse for the low-income families. They started a playground. Actually, they really did institute the food bank, which did come with Wellesley Friendly Aid, but it separated 15 years ago or so. So it's been really right in the heart of the community. And their motto, I think I did wrote it, helping those that don't have access to the resources available to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that still stands today. In that's Wellesley Friendly Aids. And our mission is we provide the services and opportunities for people within the town who do not have access otherwise. That town hall doesn't have that available to them, or the library, or any of the other areas within town.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a board of about 20 people. It's all volunteer. We have one paid employee. She's a cog that keeps us all moving along, Karen Mondell. And the programs, I think it's further down, but it's just, they started it, they didn't realize how big it would become or how important it was. And now we really do, since we all said with the marketing issue, a lot of people don't know who we are, which is with the oldest one really still standing in town. And how can they not know? And we did that. We started out reaching out. We've had a couple of ads in the Wellesley Report. We participate in the annual Veterans Parade. We provide the site for a nominal fee to use as the head space, to align all the floats and things. And It's their headquarters for the day to make sure that the parade runs smoothly.
Right.
So that's right now that's the way it is. And we sit around and we discuss what we have and what we don't have. Where what population are we not meeting?
Mhm.
And we all start feeding into it. And several years ago, we realized we weren't meeting the high school age children,
Mhm.
and they were just adrift within the town. And we came up with a program, which I'll discuss further
Mhm.
down, for those. The same thing with, when COVID hit,
Okay.
it was really difficult because we're so hands-on
Mhm.
in the community. It's really difficult
Yeah.
but we did. We became creative a lot with the Zoom,
Mhm.
but we called the knock and drop with several of the low-income elderly apartments with, to let them know that there are people out there still thinking
Right.
about because of the isolation that
Yes.
they all went through. It was tough. So we do look at those types of things on a regular recurring basis. It's not a passive type of organization.
Right. No, you sound like a very action-oriented, active organization.
So,
Yeah. And you've been with Friendly Aid for a decade. What inspired you to join?
well, I had to look back when I was sort of running my notes together, and I went, well, actually, I retired when I retired. I said I don't want to sit around. And so I looked around, and I didn't even notice Wellesley Friendly Aid. I went out to Framingham
Mhm.
to a nonprofit out there, and then Wellesley Friendly Aid. Wellesley does have an animal rescue league. It's a
Mhm.
native. I volunteered there.
Mhm.
And then I said, oh, I can't do this one. So I went to the Council on Aging
Mhm.
to volunteer.
Mhm.
And they had no vacancies at the time. It wasn't in the fancy building, it was down where in our community center. And they said, but I think Friendly Aid over there, they have a vacancy. And it hadn't reached my conscious mind. I went in and they probably dropped their teeth. My goodness, we have a volunteer knocking at the door. I was interviewed and vetted. We're a little tight on that one. And all of a sudden, I was as we call it, the house chair, which is really the maintenance person. And I did that for a couple of years. And that's why I say, I mean, even the vice presidents, we say we drank the Kool-Aid,
Right.
because once you become part of this organization, you see the real good that you're doing,
Mhm.
whether it's through financial aid and an emergency situation, they need their brakes fixed and they don't have the funds to do it.
Right.
Well, you want to keep them working, don't you? Yeah. And we have no public transportation.
Mhm.
So you do, you say, okay. So you know that woman is still working. She's showing her kids that you get out and you go out and get a job, and that's how you get more out of life.
Mhm.
Or the woman that needed repairs to her car, she wasn't working, but her son had a part-time job at the Natick mall. Well, I didn't want the kid to get beat down because he couldn't get to his job. He was showing motivation. So we fixed her car, even though it didn't keep her working, but it kept him working and moving forward.
Right.
So it's a constant making sure. One of the terms I use when I'm out talking about a town, we help people from Barton Road to Dover Road and
Mhm.
all the houses in between,
Mhm.
because it's not just financial need,
Right.
it's socialization for
Mhm.
the older population, the stimulation within an organization, such as the what we call the housing outreach. It's for the senior disabled sites in River Street,
Mhm.
Morton Circle, and Western Road. And we have functions there. and they come out of those very tiny, and they really are very tiny living areas to meet for bingo, for a luncheon, for a little meal,
Mhm.
something. And then they do. It's amazing because they're taking the cookies back or they're taking the food,
Right.
that you're helping them and they're extending the event.
Mhm.
I drove, as an example, I drove one woman, we were having it at Morton Circle, and I was a driver, and I was driving her home. She was so excited that she had won 3 bingo
Mhm.
things. Look at the, because she didn't have anything.
Right.
And that was her big event.
Yeah.
And see, I do get emotional on that. It
Yeah.
makes you feel good
Right.
that you're helping someone who, instead of just sitting in their little apartment.
Right.
But then we have medical equipment, and I know I'm digressing a bit, but I'll hit on
Yeah.
everything. Medical equipment. What is medical equipment? Per year, we loan out at least 150 pieces of equipment.
Mhm.
And that's shower seats, wheelchairs, walkers, those types of things
Mhm.
from all walks of life in Wellesley because it's a loaner. We don't charge them for it.
Right.
And everyone has a knee replacement. You need a walker. I mean, those types of things.
Mhm.
So we're meeting as many people within the community that we can with the resources that we have. We don't have big corporate sponsors or any of that nature. Our funds come directly from the community.
Right. And do you have a fundraiser coming up?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Twice a year, we do go out and seek donations from the town, and
Mhm.
they just really are so good. And they were very, very good during COVID. I mean,
Mhm.
they really understood what we were doing
Right.
and the increase in our expenses by our reaching out.
Mhm.
And was it? Oh, the fall fundraising. We have the camp in March and April. And those funds go directly to the kids to camp,
Mhm.
period. We don't, tax-wise even, we can't use any of that money but for the camp.
Mhm.
That's all we recruit for. And we send 60, 65 kids a year to camp that otherwise would be sitting home in the projects at Barton Road.
Mhm.
And then you have the fall fund appeal. That is, we're working, I was signing letters yesterday for 4 hours going over. We canvass the community. We send I call it a happy letter and a little flyer to show what we're doing, pictures and those types of things. And that covers all of our overhead expenses and keeps us going. We have, as I said, one paid employee who's part-time technically. And I keep slapping her hands because she does put more hours in than she should.
Right.
But and that all of that goes to the lights, the gas, the phone, and her salary. And then everything else is for our program areas. Because when we have, like on Friendship Circle, we work with that one's the Service League, Wellesley Service League. We've merged with them, and what they do is they'll pick members of the females, senior females around the community from all walks of life.
Mhm.
And we go over to the rec center on Washington Street. The Service League provides the luncheon, and we provide the entertainment in a sense. There's crafts, and they can make things and um, paper moldings and lectures on birds, and they were so excited with it, and picture books. So it gives them some. So as I joke, every Monday during the school year, those 25 odd ladies
Mhm.
get to be treated real special. See, just a little real special. And as I say, oh, they put their Sunday best on, they put their lipstick on, because they're going to go have lunch with Gert and the girls.
Right.
And there are it's some of them, it's their only out.
Right.
Like it, but so that's a service, but we pay for the extras. We pay for lecturers and the arts and crafts things that they might be performing in that. Um, as I said earlier, on the financial aid, we have a small budget for financial aid, and that's busy. Wellesley, what we have is a Connects to College program. All of those come out of our annual fall fund appeal. So when I mean, we usually get around $75,000 a year, which is really beneficial. It does cover everything and then some. We issue out a budget for everybody so that they feel they own their program areas, because then they become real creative and
Mhm.
that type of thing. And then they call me when they need more money.
Mhm.
Deb, and during COVID, knock and drop was expensive because, Valentine's Day with candies and a little gift and that type. And then we have Luminary Night, which is coming up.
Mhm.
That's one of the future things. And the Luminary Night for the three public housing for the elderly and disabled. And we have a light dinner. National Charities League works with us
Mhm.
there, and they bring their daughters, and we have a whole integration of generations, in
Mhm.
fact. And for some of them, it's the only type of holiday event they're going to have. So all of those things just come out of our fall fund appeal.
Mhm.
As I said, we have no big corporate support system. We have one grant, and that's for financial aid for senior
Mhm.
persons for medical needs, dental or glasses. So yeah, it's very worthwhile.
Right. And we'll find more information and we can donate anytime on your website, I'm assuming.
Oh, that too, yes.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Um, Website, we're trying to work with begins with a V, Venom?
Oh, Venmo?
Venmo. We're trying to get Venmo
Mhm.
to get that to align, to make it
Right.
as easy, because the older generation love to write out their checks,
Yeah.
but the younger generation, which is really what the population is now, uh, checks, where's my checkbook? I
Right.
mean, they just don't use
Yeah.
it anymore.
Much faster. You just pull out your phone.
Yeah, yeah. So we're really, really trying
Good.
hard to. The
That's
only thing
great.
is, I mean, we don't do the credit card because it's a 6% charge,
Right. Right.
and that gets too convoluted for our staff,
Right.
our staff of one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we all help her out. We do.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Well, that's good news. So we'll definitely include the website.
Well, the
So,
mailing will go
right.
out this
Oh,
week.
good. Excellent.
So, yeah. And
Awesome. And
a new little card
right.
for Wesley Friend, kind of a reading, bookmark
Right.
card.
Excellent. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that one. We'll know it's you. It's coming from you. And so I know you mentioned a number of programs, which is really remarkable that the organization runs that many programs every year. So let me ask you this question. So what's one surprising thing that you've learned or you've discovered while working with Friendly Aid over the years?
Well, I joke that I'm a bureaucrat. I like structure. I'm a bit of a skeptic. I'm always looking for the deal. What do they want, kind of thing. It's made me realize that there are really some very good people in this town.
Mhm.
Sure. Uh, but my experiences have been um, people who live on Cliff Road who borrow a piece of equipment, medical equipment. They're so thankful they can go out and buy it.
Mhm.
And then you have the woman whose her eyes have deteriorated. She needs glasses. How appreciative she is. So it's like we run the full gamut, and I would say I thought I had everything aligned in my life.
Mhm.
By joining WFA and working, its mission has made me think out of my own sphere of understanding. That sounds better. See, when I get
Right.
to
You sound lovely all the time. So yes,
no,
excellent. That's so gratifying to hear. You know, it's
it really it's amazing. And um there was a joke when I was working, I was nicknamed Hang 'em High Cogill.
well, that's interesting.
I was strict. I appreciated the taxpayer paying my salary. And just as I say about the donors here, we have an obligation to our donors.
Hmm.
It's their money we're spending, not ours.
I'd believe you.
Yeah, so I've carried that with me. And so the obligation, we have to think it's not just, we're not a giveaway, we're not an ATM.
Right.
It's those who are in need when they can't secure the assistance or the finances elsewhere.
Hmm.
I mean, during COVID, we had one fellow that came in requesting a mortgage payment.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, it's
and how did
all,
you handle that?
oh, we accepted it because his office had closed down.
Hmm.
They had exhausted their funds. So he had no income. And I mean, it was 2000 or something, but you say he's come to us really as the last resort.
Right.
And what did it take for him to come with, as I call it, with his begging bowl asking for funds? You know,
Right.
you don't want to beat people down. You're there to help them get the next step going
Right.
and not to chastise them for not being more fiscally responsible. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, especially when there's a pandemic. So, what is one to do? So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a
I mean,
little, that's like
if
a,
someone walked
yeah,
in today and said, "Oh, Deb, can I have, 2,500 for my mortgage?"
right.
Why? No.
Right.
And we have disapproved some
Yeah.
because, as I remind them all, it's donor money.
Hmm.
We're answerable to the people of the town who support us.
Right.
We even had one woman, God love her, she gave us a very big check. And of course, I was beaming from here to here. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, not even 2 weeks later, another big check came in from the same person.
Hmm.
Well, no one else looked and went, hmm? I did. I
Hmm.
said, give me your contact information. I want to make sure that she's aware that she already wrote a big check. We
Right.
don't take advantage of people.
People, right. Right.
And the reason for the two checks, very reasonable, tax exempt.
Mhm.
She gives it to us versus thing.
Right.
And she said, I have to take it out of my 401k. And if I do, I'm going to have to pay tremendous taxes on it. So why not? Oh, okay. I just wanted to double check
Right. Right.
that this is, you didn't forget that you had already
Yeah.
written
Make sure
out
you write it. Yeah. Yes.
a $9,000 check.
Yes. Yeah. It's kind. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Lovely.
we're really very careful
Hmm.
about how we spend. Um, we 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 have no luxuries. As I say, our building, we've been in it for 75 years almost now, and we don't do dinners for ourselves or lunches or any of that nature.
Right.
So all the funds that people give us, as I say, we do double check to make sure that mom isn't giving us the house, and then you find out that, what did you do?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to, when the Wellesley Townsend was still really
Mhm.
active in town, when I took over, I said, I do not want to find us on the front page of the Townsman. Always think that way.
Right.
Yeah, only good news. I
Right.
don't subscribe to any news, only
Page
good.
three is acceptable, but not above the fold.
So we know our obligation to the town, and we've really worked very hard this past year. The marketing team has done a terrific job in improving upon the website
Mhm,
for 40 somethings in town
mhm,
now. And a flyer, which is now the bookmark, and
mhm.
making it more visible and useful as opposed to, oh, geez, another give me a check kind of thing.
Right.
No, we really are trying to reach out to the more IT savvy
Mhm.
population,
Right.
because those that have been donating to us as a regular course of events
Right.
always write the check.
Yep.
But, we're all being pulled in different ways and
Mhm,
things. And Wellesley Friendly Aid is as I use the term, we're part of the fabric.
mhm.
We just really need to get our word out there of the good that we're doing for the town.
Right. Well,
And at
excellent.
all levels, that no one
Yeah.
should think it's just financial aid
Right.
people.
Right.
As I said, the friendship circle
Mhm,
business, the women 70, 80, 90.
mhm,
On the financial aid, we received a request for 3 months of rent.
mhm,
I did call the Swellesley report on it because the senior woman,
mhm,
um, the oldest resident in town, was using her cash for more home care service.
mhm,
So we got, and normally we do not do rent and lights or telephone. We
mhm.
don't do regular recurring bills unless there's a financial impact that's hit the family and they can't pay the bill.
Right.
And we paid for her last 3 months of rent.
Mm,
It's evident she passed away.
right.
Oh, I can't, who, I can't think of her name right now, but So, I mean, it's that type of thing. We're doing all and making people's lives just a little bit better,
Right.
or minimizing their stress.
Right.
And the holiday season is
Yeah.
tremendously stressful.
Right. Well, what a amazing organization and what a storied history you have in this town. You know,
And
um,
it really worked with
that's pretty
Mama
amazing.
for the Wellesley for the Connects program, Connects to College. We work with the high school guidance counselors
Mhm.
for referrals for kids that show the potential of wanting to go to college,
Right.
but don't know the whole process.
Right.
Uh, Mara refers several students per year,
Mhm,
as well as the high school guidance counselors. They refer young people to us for the juniors and and
mhm.
seniors to help them begin the process of applying to college.
Right.
As I say on that one, when people say, well, how many have you had? And I smile and I say, if we have one graduate, it's a success story.
Mhm.
In this particular case, I'm not looking at the bottom line, I'm looking at impact.
The process. Right.
That's right. And that works. And we did have a kid go through the Connects program, received his undergraduate degree. He turned around. He was all alone in the apartment. His mother had gone back to Brazil.
Mhm,
And he decided, I don't want to be in a dead-end job. He applied and was accepted. I believe it was either Columbia or Cornell
mhm.
in the PhD program for
Oh,
bioscience.
lovely. Yeah.
So that's how I say it. They get to see a new world
Right.
and what's out there. So if one does it a year, that's terrific. But normally we have 2 or 3 kids that definitely go through, whether it's a nursing program or
Mhm.
whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, we don't have a sloppy program.
Right.
That,
It seems very well run.
oh no, I wasn't looking at that. It's just
Yeah.
all the chairs of the program. I believe in autonomy.
Mhm.
Do what you want to do. Just, and that's what I say. Don't get us on the front page in a negative manner.
Right.
and just keep me informed. That's all I need to know. Just tell me what's going on.
Right.
And they come up with some great ideas
Mhm.
to integrate what they do into the community.
Mhm.
And that's what I say. I've really come out of my sphere of, well, this is the way it's supposed to be,
Right.
into what else can we do?
Right. Awesome. Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. And are there any other highlights that you'd like to share with
I'm
us quickly
just gonna
before we wrap up?
most of we did the loan, we did the financial aid, we did the housing outreach, the seniors. I love the seniors, I love the kids. Oh, and the gift cards
Mhm.
that also falls under, which is several $1,000s
Mhm.
worth of cost to us. That comes out of our fall fund
Okay.
appeal. We provide low-income families with a gift card of 40 and an additional 10 for every member of the family over four.
Mhm.
To help them defray the cost of a holiday meal.
Mhm.
And everyone gets it. All of the low-income areas, Section 8, the projects, the elderly housing,
Mhm.
so that at least it helps out.
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
But it is expensive, but all
Yes.
of those are expensive. And if we took it
Right.
away,
Right.
where would they get it?
Right. And that's why you need community support
We
um,
are so thankful that
to keep it going.
they really do. And we
Excellent.
thank the community. We respect the money that they give us.
Right.
There's no waste or frills.
Right.
Yeah, we reuse our air conditioners. We redo everything.
Right.
Cameron, don't you think you like curtains? No, 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 no. We don't need this disc. No, no, no. I mean, it's really bare bones.
Right. And all of you are volunteers, right?
Yes,
The whole organization, you're all volunteers. No one gets paid.
no one gets paid, and in all seriousness, we have practically no turnover.
Right.
People either expire, which we lost our treasurer.
Right.
He was a wonderful, wonderful person, Leo Swift.
Sorry to hear that.
It
Right.
it it really affected many of us.
Sure.
Um, but we have, well, him, someone moved out of town. Actually, a couple moved out of town, but they're all legitimate reasons for leaving because you say, oh, I mean, I've thought, oh, maybe turn this over. But you say, but I worry if I can't find a replacement. I
Right.
won't go until I can.
Right.
It's just such a wonderful organization.
Mhm.
Time-wise, if someone wanted to volunteer, and even as we call it ad hoc volunteering
Mhm.
for like the Sunday socials,
Mhm.
luminary night, um, would gladly take an extra set of hands on those
Right.
evenings. Come to
Excellent.
find out, luminary night is going to be December 8th of this year.
And so we should direct people back to your website to give you a shout if they'd like to volunteer as well.
That, or they could easily contact the office,
Mhm.
which I think I did. Oh, I put it here. To Wellesley Friendly Aid at Verizon.net.
Okay. Great.
That's the email address.
Perfect.
And Karen would take the information and give it to me, and then I'd start the vetting process.
Great.
We do take care of it, and people are covered liability-wise
Mhm.
if, while they are helping us out.
Okay.
So it's not as though they're
Right.
taking their financial situation in hand and just throwing it away.
Right.
But it's, if anyone, and I offer to anyone if they'd like to come and sit in and listen to a board meeting and
Right.
how we
Oh, that's
operate,
good to know. That's great.
so that they see what we do.
Right.
But
Awesome.
I'm, it's really my vice president. He's been there longer than me.
Mhm.
We just joke that yes, we've drunk the Kool-Aid. There's just all the little detail things.
Mhm.
You see, you do get some scammer types, but those are just those that know the system,
Mhm.
and we can spot them.
You
But
can spot them.
so
Right.
yes,
Yes,
if you have extra money,
right.
um,
Or
uh,
extra time. If you have extra money or extra time, we
oh,
should
well,
get in
extra
touch
time. I
with Friendly
thought,
Aid. Right.
and just give us a
Absolutely.
call. Telephone number of 781-235-3960. Karen is always there.
Great.
And if there's any inquiries, she does give them over to me.
Perfect.
Just, we, we'd love to have you.
Well, thank you, Deb. This has been such a pleasure, and I've learned so many new and interesting things about Friendly Aid today. So thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, and be kind to me in the edit process.
Really well.